Deepshika, I now want to actually speak about something a little technical, but we'll try to break it down for the audience here. This is this whole thing on bootstrapping versus funding. Cash, right? Super important, super less in startups. So we all have sort of these strategies. We all, want to use minimal cash, obviously, and maximum output. So just going forward in the early days when you don't have a lot of cash, right? But you need it to hire, right? Or get the office space because you need to burn some cash. Was there like a strategy, like a bootstrapping strategy you stuck to that, helped you maneuver on your expenditures?
I didn't even know what bootstrapping was when I started.
So guys, here we go. It's okay if you don't know anything and everything.
I think people invest in the idea.
Right.
Before that, people invest in people.
Amazing.
And which includes not just the founder, but the team as well.
Right.
And then comes everything else.
Of course.
So in our case, when we started, we were very, very focused that we want to run a business. Business means profit.
Of course.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. But I think what is happening is, and what you see in organizations, where you believe that the possible impact on what you're creating is far bigger, far bigger than you yourself.
Right.
Or the scale at which you are operating. I think that's the decision. That's the time that you take a decision to go in, put in more money, which probably will burn in the shorter run, but will make a bigger impact and a much more scalable organization in the longer run.
Right.
I think that's the trade-off. So initially we were just toying with the idea. We were just exploring, what is the potential to monetize from a business standpoint, from the Speaker Bureau to L&D to now the expert network and more, and not just in India and beyond. So then we started realizing that it's a far bigger game. A game that will take time to scale, needs money to propel it, but a game that has a very, very valid business model in place.
Right.
So that's where we said that, okay, this is the time when we go out and seek funds. That's where we raised our first round.
So there was an aha moment.
And again, personal opinion. I mean, I don't think you should be out to raising funds till you have a proof of concept.
Okay.
The massive organizations who've done that. I mean, just on paper, just an idea, and full credit to them. Maybe they're far more futuristic than I am.
Sure.
Maybe I'm a little more, as I said, old school and pragmatic, and I want to touch and feel and
consultant
see.
brain.
Exactly. It needs to work. We never really burnt a lot of cash.
Okay.
We were very, very thoughtful. In fact, we didn't burn till we got the money. So we were.
That's ideal, right? This is like the ideal startup story here about expenditure.
I think you get the money, and but before that, we ensured that we knew what we wanted to do that money and why we needed that money.
Great.
You do that homework and you have a business model in place.
Yeah.
You have a vision on the scalability. I think you're sorted.
Okay. So, having said that now, but even approaching investing or funds or VCs or whatever, it's hard. You feel, you get turned down. Your idea probably did get turned down. Everyone does. So what advice would you give to actually how to approach this sort of network? Because now I actually read a very cool article that there are a lot of people wanting to offer money to startups now. So there are incubators, there are accelerators, there are VCs, there are hedge funds, there are high net worth individuals you can approach, they'll give you a check. What is those ways which, if you can explain on how you actually decided to get the funding and who you settled on and why?
That's an interesting question. I think I have, given that, as I said, I'm a salesperson. So I've all my years been more on the relationship management perspective rather than everything else. So and you build those relationships without any use case in view or in mind.
Right.
And that's precisely how it happened with us.
Okay.
In fact, 3 of my investors were our former clients.
Okay, amazing.
One of them is my former boss.
Oh wow, that's so ideal.
And the remaining were our experts.
Okay.
Or people that we've touched upon over the course of speaking.
Right.
And the reason why that is important is because you need to be warming up your potential partners, because they're partners. They're more than money. and you need to look at them like that, at least for the very first push, because they're going to be critical to your growth.
Yeah.
They're not just giving you money, they're giving you their name, they're giving you their brains,
Yes.
they're giving you your time.
Very true.
And so I think the first and the foremost thing that you need to do as far as funding is concerned, you should go out and seek and build relationships. Start building relationships when you don't need it.
Okay.
So that is going to be
That's
very,
good.
very critical.
That's good advice,
Because
yeah.
the moment you need it and then you go out into the market, one, you'll be too late.
Sure.
Two, even if somebody is interested, they'll be negotiating very, very hard with you because it'll show. And
You will show that you really need the money and they have
Absolutely.
the upper hand.
it is not the state to be in. So
Okay.
if you think that you've started today, and if you've just even realized that there is some meat in this and I might need funds to get to the next level,
Right.
start networking with immediate effect. Now you have events, you have write to them, talk to you have LinkedIn
People.
today, you
Yes.
have Speaking today,
Yes.
get into the platform, find investors, talk to them, write to them, network with them, catch up for a cup of coffee, and I can assure you
Right.
that 99.9% of these mentors or investors or
Right.
potential investors are more than happy to meet promising entrepreneurs.
Yes. Networking as a
Network
soft
is
skill is
super
really
critical.
important and it's not taught anywhere other than probably MBA, I would say.
And I would also just recommend one more thing that I hear is that when you are an entrepreneur, when
Right.
you're running a business, it is extremely critical for you to keep up with what is happening outside of your work
Sure.
sphere, and then continuously get feedback. So
Right.
while you're doing these exercises, so I
Yes.
would recommend that on day zero itself, you're on your own, you're an entrepreneur, you don't know when you'll need what.
Yeah.
Go out in the market, keep talking to people related, people unrelated, people already in the
So you
sphere.
never know how anyone helps you.
Absolutely. The least that conversation will do is it'll give you some inputs on your business model.
And people will hear about your organization.
Absolutely. And be open to feedback. That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, so this is really helpful because you've sort of just actually laid down the basics that, build your team right, network right in the day one, like especially with funding. And I think a lot of people approach it like that is, okay, right now we have money. When we need it, then we'll start with the business plans and then we'll try the top levels, then we'll try the mid levels and then, go to friends and family, seed funding. But-
Just a small little point there.
Sure.
We have said no to more money than we've taken.
Amazing.
And that has happened precisely because we've been out there.
Right.
We've kept the stakeholders updated. We make sure that everybody knows what we're doing.
Right.
We make sure that everybody knows what our successes are.
Right.
We also make sure that when we converse, we connect with them and tell them what our challenges are, where we can, explore
Yes.
synergies and take their help. And all of that is appreciated by people over a period of
The
time.
transparent network.
Absolutely. And that
Right.
gives you the option of choosing who is the right partner for you.
Great. I think this has been so helpful. Like, I have taken back so much already. Like, I wish I had a little notepad and pen and I was like jotting down these things. Luckily, we'll be creating something and there's so many learnings from meeting people like you. So thank you so much, Deepshika, for being here.